Hello, I'm TWK and welcome to TWK Reviews, where I talk about whatever's on my mind at the given moments. And today we have a very special topic, but before we get to that, I'd like to thank my Plus Ultra patrons, Bummer Castaneda, who is a very big fan of rare video games, especially on the Nintendo 64, as well as Let's Playing stuff on his own channel, so if you are interested in watching some of some Let's Plays, you might want to give him a go, if you wouldn't mind. Also, somebody who doesn't have YouTube channel active these days, but who knows, could stir up, Ricky Relic. Hey, thank you for your support. And of course, speaking of support, I like to support my friends, like Greg Haynes with his book, New World, currently available on Amazon.com in both physical and digital formats. Although I think for digital, you need a Kindle for that, so if you have a Kindle, maybe you want to try picking this one up. I don't think it's free anymore, but you know, it's still a book, you know, I prefer having physical media myself if I can help, because, there's nothing quite like doing one of these numbers. It is just absolutely magical. Now then, with all that being said, let's roll that beautiful intro.
Scorn me and moan me, my failures are so taxing. So teach me and preach to me. This time I'm asking, oh, won't you show me just how you love so fucking miserably?
Do you know what wrestling doesn't need at this point? Elitists. It's kind of the thing that no fandom ever really needs, as they serve no purpose other than to pose as the tastemakers and judge any that disagree, because they're so sad and pathetic and they have nothing else better to do with their lives than ruin the joy of others. And I have no idea why there are people that have this obsession that wrestling needs to be one singular thing, that it needs to be presented as a super serious, realistic sporting event with only super serious sports-like presentation. Don't get me wrong, as someone who was raised around sports his entire life, I get enjoying this style of wrestling. However, what I will never in my entire life be able to process is the mindset of those that truly think that any other style is quote-unquote killing the business. There is literally no evidence of this. Nothing anyone can point to that proves these claims. There is, however, quite the opposite. Let's take one of Cornball's claims that if anyone loses to a woman, they may as well hang up their boots. Several years ago, the Young Bucks lost a tag team match clean as a whistle to Candice LeRae and a partner that deserves to suffer in the coldest depths of hell, but the point remains that she was on the winning side of a very competitive match. How are the Bucks doing? Oh, they're only rich as fuck, and the tag team champions of their own super successful wrestling promotion currently broadcasting on TNT. And speaking of said promotion, All Elite Wrestling, they break a lot of rules as far as killing the business goes. Take Orange Cassidy as our prime example. His whole gimmick is that he's lazy and thus puts forth minimal effort into his matches. This includes placing his hands in his pockets, delivering kicks with minimal effort, and of course, not even bothering taking off his shades. In the wrong hands, this shtick would flop hard, but because Orange Cassidy knows how to play it super cool, the fans love it. Like really love it. What I'd like everyone to do at this point is rewatch Cassidy vs. Pac from Revolution 2020 and just take in how absolutely bonkers this crowd goes for him. With this type of reaction, you'd swear he's the world champion and not mid-carding. This goes against what these elitists believe to be true about pro wrestling, that everyone needs to wrestle this super realistic style. If that were the case, then Lucha Libre wouldn't be nearly as popular as it is. If there is one symbol in pro wrestling that is more famous than literally anything else, it's the classic lucha mask. You can show this to anyone, and I mean anyone, and they will recognize it. But Lucha Libre is full of that quote-unquote flippy shit, and therefore quote-unquote killing the business, despite the fact that lucha masks sell like gangbusters, and people such as El Santo and Rey Mysterio are infinitely more famous than any serious grappler should be. Just toss all that to the side. I'm not saying you have to like comedy or lucha style wrestling, but stop pretending that it isn't wrestling, because it is. Do you want to know what else is wrestling? Choco Pro, and they're literally a promotion run out of a tiny office with wrestlers performing in said office on a tiny mat. You may not think that this is wrestling, but it's just as much wrestling as Starrcade is. Oh, and on a side note, Maki Ito is a much better singer and dancer than any member of the Fabulous Freebirds, and infinitely less racist. And that is the video. I'd like to thank my Class 1B patron, Mr. Casey and more, aka the Evil Reverend. Thank you so much for your support, and the one thing I really want to get across this video more than anything else is, like what you like, don't be a dick. I could have just said that and just had that be it, but for some people they need the whole explanation thing, you know, they need me to go into some detail as to why that is, because apparently acting like not a dick on the internet is just too difficult of a task for them. Especially for those that did not grow up with the internet. Those poor bastards. They get all this fame, all this attention, they just abuse it. They abuse it to their heart's content. And I honestly cannot stand that, to be honest with you. If you have power, then in my opinion, you should use it responsibly. Easy for me to say, I can barely talk, it seems. Oh boy, anyways, just want to get this video out of the way, because it was on my mind for a long time. Just the topic of this video kept me up for multiple nights in a row, so I just had to get it out, had to just vent into this camera, I guess into a microphone, really, I guess combination of the two. Nevertheless, I vented, I feel better now, so let's get on with the next video, Retro Mania Wrestling.